With us, our congratulations to Tommy Kendall, the winner today in the streets of Minneapolis.
Minutes northeast of Columbus, Ohio, you'll find the beautiful Mid Ohio sports car course. We're here today for the SCCA Spec Racer Ford Pro Series, next on Speed Vision. As we take a look at the top 10 in points, there are some familiar names that are not there. In fact, the only two names we really recognize would be Keith Sharp up there in second position and John Bowden back at eighth. And John is the old man of this series. You've been around ever since the inception with the Sportsman Knows back in the 80s. He's alongside. Hi, I'm Gary Lee. And John, some drivers use this as a springboard to other divisions. You stay. Why?
Well, I stay because I make money in this series. I rent race rides to other people as well as race myself. And another reason I stay is because there isn't any more fun in racing than this. These cars are identical, the racing is spectacularly close, and it is a springboard to other venues.
Well, we'll keep an eye on the yellow 23. Have a good ride this weekend. There are other stories from the paddock area. Another announcer is Bob Gerald. He filed this report earlier.
We've covered Spec Racer Ford on Speed Vision for years. Last October, we were here at Mid Ohio for the SCCA runoffs. But in 1997, there's a whole new class of drivers, maybe some unfamiliar names. Leading the points is Leo Capaldi, finished first and second at St. Petersburg. And Leo, you've been running in this class for a while, but this year you've stepped up to the front. What's been the difference?
Difference is some financial backing from my great sponsors, Auto Stuff and KME. They've allowed me to step up from running a top 10 car and put that little extra in there and made it a top 3 car, and it's really been nice.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Now, the newest member of our Speed Vision announce team is someone we're used to talking about, but maybe not used to talking with. It's Craig T. Nelson, the driver of the World Sports Car Screaming Eagles #2, and also the star of Coach. And Craig, my question for you is, when you were starting your racing career, did you ever drive one of these little pocket rockets?
Yeah, I sure have, Bobby. I drove a couple of spec races at Willow Springs, and they're really great cars. But as far as this series goes, up until this year, Robert Mumm's racing career, Mum has been the word, but not so far this year. The first race at St. Pete, you had a mechanical, and the second race you won. So how's this weekend look?
Well, it's looking pretty good so far. We've been quick in the first practice session. The Auto Stuff Spec Racer Ford has been really running well. Hopefully we can repeat our win at St. Pete. But it's going to be tough. We got a good full field of qualified and very experienced pro drivers here this weekend.
Thanks, Robert. Good luck.
Thank you.
As we take a look at the starting grid, Mum, they're starting outside the front row. A two-time champion, Warren Stillwell, on the pole, had a lousy day at St. Petersburg with a 36th and a 28th. As we look at the field, Craig, you've driven these cars. I've driven these cars. This is a momentum racetrack.
Yeah, it sure is, and these cars are really competitive because they're all spec racers, and that means the engines are the same, the aerodynamics are the same, the tires are the same. So you got to keep that car going in a straight line.
Quickly, the racetrack.
Okay, you've got the racetrack here. It's a 13-turn, 2.5-mile track. It's a great track. You got the first, you come up at the straightaway, you got the keyhole. You keep going down the back straight. That's going to be the start right there where they're going to be starting. You come into the S's here, and that's the kink right there. That's turn 3. Come on down. Okay, we got the green flag coming up in there.
Yeah, we do. They start on the backstretch. That's really the longest straightaway before that third turn of that key. Once again, these are 1.9-liter engines. They're Ford power plants produced by Roush Racing, and they're sealed by the SCCA, so very much a driver's series. This is actually the third stop so far this year. They had 2 races at St. Petersburg back in January. A long, long sabbatical. A lot of these guys have been involved in club racing, but this is their 3rd pro race this season.
Right, Robert Mumm had a great comeback at St. Pete in the second race, too.
Yeah, I finished 28th in the first race, won the second race. The first race was won by Leo Capaldi, who started 3rd today. And he was second in the second race, so consequently he leads the point standings. Now this is very much the type of racing that we will see in this series. Very much follow the leader, because it's really a case where you watch the guy in front, wait for him to make a mistake, and take advantage.
Yeah, it really is, and you got it's like he said, there's a lot of momentum involved, but you know, these guys are waiting to see what's going to happen, and it's going to take a little bit.
There's a battle for a 6th position. as they complete the first lap. This is a 22-lap race, 49.5 miles off under that bridge through turn 1. Now, they're not using this chicane off to the left of your screen. That would be a chicane that on occasion is used into the keyhole. This is an off-camber turn. As they come off, the car wants to push out.
Yeah, and that exit's really important because that FIA bumper on that exit is very, very high. So these guys are going to be very careful there.
There's a look at Keith Sharp, number 6 in the Valvoline car. He right now is 2nd in the point standings. He had a pair of 3rds at St. Petersburg. And so qualifying is so important in this type of racing.
Yeah, it's the most important thing, because if you're out front, all you got to do is keep the rest of the guys behind. Hopefully you don't have a mechanical. But, you know, the racing is so close, you can't make a mistake.
We talked about that chicane earlier. That's used during the SCCA runoffs. And Mother Nature certainly has been good to us this weekend. We've had some lousy weather here in the Midwest during May and early June. But here it is, sunshine, a temperature climbing up to around 80 degrees this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I've got a sunburn.
Well, you got 2 free hats yesterday. You shouldn't have one.
You know, the cars get very light right there, Gary, and that exit is very dangerous also.
Stillwell continues to lead. Capaldi has gone from his 3rd starting position to 2nd, and then Mom has dropped to 3rd position. Zacharias is now 4th. And there's a look at your battle for 5th. So once again, with the race underway here at Mid Ohio, it's Stillwell continues to lead. Capaldi is 2nd. 1 of 22 laps now complete.
$250? It's only a little scratch.
Here a scratch, there a scratch, everywhere a scratch. And they're all an eyesore. What you need is GS27 Scratch Remover. It's new from Shawala. GS27 gets rid of those surface scratches and paint swirls quickly and easily. Simply rub GS27 into the scratch, then polish it to a beautiful finish. The scratch is gone.
I still can't believe it was that easy. GS27 got rid of those scratches in less than a minute. It's great.
GS27 is not an abrasive. It's a superfine microscopic crystallite that works its way into the scratch and polishes it away. And look, you don't have to go crazy trying to match colors. That same tube of GS27 works wonders on any color car. You have to see it to believe it. Amazing!
The repair shop said it had to sand, prime, and paint. What a bunch of bull. GS27 took that ugly scratch away in no time.
Watch. Would you do this to a brand new car? Ouch! But GS27 removes that ugly scratch quickly and easily. What a difference! GS27 is so effective, it'll even remove paint scrapes, ugly rust from chrome bumpers, and scratches and scrapes from your boat's gel coat. GS27 is only $14.95. But wait! Order now and get a second tube for only $5. That's 2 for just $19.95. It'll remove those surface scratches from your car or your money back. Don't live with those ugly scratches and don't spend a fortune to remove them. Order your GS27 Scratch Remover now.
Call toll-free 1-800-448-5225 or send check or money order for $14.95 for one or $19.95 for two, plus $5.95 shipping and handling to GS27 Scratch Remover, 2 Morgan Avenue, Norwalk, Connecticut. Or use your credit card and call 1-800-448-5225.
Well, there's the battle for 2nd position, about 2 car lengths between Capaldi and Mum. But once again, these cars are so evenly matched, it's really just a case of one driver making a mistake.
Absolutely. I think Robert's hanging back. Of course, I'm kind of rooting for him today, but I don't want to get... You know, the great thing about...
Back to Bob.
One of the cars just coming into the pits is Rodney Thompson. He started 35th on the grid, and he came in for a stop-and-go penalty, and now he is back out and away. So I'm not sure what the penalty is. We'll try to find out why he was brought in for a stop-and-go, but that was the case, and now he's back out in the fight. Rodney Thompson from Melbourne, Florida.
Well, there's the battle once again, the best battle on the racetrack for 2nd position, about a car length, a car and a half between that of Leo Capaldi in 68 and the number 10 of Robert Mum. And there is the gap between 1st and 2nd as you can see that Stillwell continues to lengthen that lead. Now, he told us yesterday he did not even touch his car after he won the SCCA National Championship here last fall. Parked it for the winner and brought it out.
Well, that's the great thing about this kind of racing is that it's an entry-level form, and it's very inexpensive, and a lot of the families do it together, and that's what's great about it. You can get out. These cars are not difficult to work on. They're a lot of fun.
There's Tilbor back there in the 4th position in car number 8, an easy car to spot with that neon yellow and blue paint scheme. These are 5 speed race cars, and this really is a great racetrack for this class.
Oh, it is great. It's also great for the fans to watch because you get this kind of racing. Look at Mom sneaking in there. Man, that was close.
He had a look to the inside, so once again we'll follow that battle for 2nd position. About a car length between Capaldi and Mum. Capaldi there in 2nd position. Headed for turn 3, that little kink off to the right, just past that flag stand where they actually start the race. They'll finish the race along the front straightaway. And here is the battle for 2nd.
I don't want to root, but come on, Bobby, get in there. That's going into 4 right there. They're going to start the S's. They're going to stay in the same gear probably through here. A little light tap. Get a little light right there. Coming up to turn 6. There they go in.
No passing zones through the S's through 4, 5, 6, and 7. As we'll take a look, hopefully, once again at that pass. And that was really textbook. That's what you learn in driving schools.
Yeah, it really is nice. You just wait, get a little bit of draft. You don't get too much off these cars, and he just sneaks right in there and says, okay, I got it.
Got a good run. Really, that pass was set up coming off the carousel.
Absolutely. You get the biggest run there. You get that momentum like you were talking about.
You have to smoothly get off that carousel, that off-camber right-hand sweeper. 2 really sweeping turns on this. The right-hander there in the keyhole and the carousel, which is turn 12 on this 13-turn layout. Once again there under the bridge. There's your leader. Back to 2nd position now. Mum in number 10. Capaldi is 3rd. And Tilbor in that yellow and blue number 8 continues to ride back in 4th position. This is a 22-lap event. 4 laps completed now by your leader.
You know, Warren seems to be getting a great run off that keyhole turn.
Saw some brake smoke there from the 8 car. There's the off camber where the car wants to push on out toward that curbing that you talked earlier about.
Yeah. They're very high here. You got to be very careful.
Look at this. Zacharias in 31 pulls alongside Tilbor and makes the pass as they'll have that right-hander into 3.
This may
and
be
he
2
takes
cars.
over 4th.
See if both guys get him. Look at this.
Sharp
3 wide.
3 wide. Sharp down the inside. Kind of a game of chicken.
Yeah, smoked him up just a little bit.
But once again, it's the case of getting a good run, keeping the momentum up, coming off that 2nd turn, the keyhole.
Yeah, and some of the guys are using their brakes a little bit better. Some guys are waiting.
Well, whatever plan of attack these guys have, it is a great springboard to other forms of compensation.
Yeah, and it's great racing by itself too. I mean, these guys can get in here and they have a lot of fun together.
Stillwell continues to lead. Mom is 2nd. Capaldi now 3rd. Zacharias is 4th. As you take a look at the rest of the top 10, we'll come back to Mid Ohio.
In the 64-year history of Wheaties cereal, Dale Earnhardt's picture is the first NASCAR driver to appear on its box. Part of racing history himself, Dale Earnhardt is a 7-time Winston Cup champion. Now you can be a part of racing history. Check out this limited edition 1/24 scale die-cast replica of the number 3 Wheaties car driven by Dale Earnhardt. This detailed super speedway Chevrolet Monte Carlo comes complete with opening hood, authentic Goodyear racing tires, detailed roll cage, opening trunk, and detailed chassis and suspension, all with high-gloss baked enamel finish. All car markings are tampo printed, not decals. This collector's item can be yours today for $49.75 plus $5.95 shipping and handling by calling 1-888-SPEED50. Be sure to give product code DE3 when you place your order. Call now for immediate delivery. 1-888-SPEED50.
Welcome back to Mid Ohio. Glad to have you along on a Father's Day gathering as we watch the SCCA Pro Spec Racer. There's a look at car number 10, Robert Mum in the 2nd position. Capaldi is still 3rd. And Zacharias, the red, white, and blue number 31, back there in 4th position. And there is the gap as they head for the keyhole from 1st to 2nd. Let's go back to pit lane.
Robert Mumm running in second, and Barry Mumm is his brother, and you're on the radio with Robert right now, and you're also charting his times. Are the times coming down, and do you think he'll be able to make a run at Stillwell?
Well, the car's getting better. We set it up to run better at the end of the race. His times are dropped now to approximately where he qualified. So Warren isn't getting away anymore, and I think we'll be able to run him down by the end of the race.
Now, you mentioned that you set it up for the end of the race. How do you do that?
By adjusting the suspension to account for the heat in the tires at the end of the race. And the tires get a little slipperier at the end, but we make adjustments for it, so it isn't quite as quick right out of the chute, but it gets good toward the end of the race.
All right. Well, if that holds true, then, guys, we're going to be in for a thriller here at the end if Robert Mumm can catch Warren Stillwell.
Well, there's a battle right there for third position. Zacharias all over the rear of Capaldi. And that's the best race on the track right now. We had seen the sharp number 6 go by Strickler's number 22, the yellow 22. And of course, one advantage, the guys that race together all the time really know the idiosyncrasies of the other participants, and you can really play off of those. If you're racing in a series where you've never raced with the guys, you have no idea what to look for.
Absolutely. I mean, this fraternity is what it is, and the camaraderie. And the guys want to see each other racing out there, so they'll change parts, they'll help each other out with some aerodynamic changes that are allowed. Neil Tilborn, number 8, his car sponsored by Tyco RC. He does marketing for him in real life. Most of these guys have real jobs. You hear that, Garrett?
These guys may be looking for a professional career. They all have full-time jobs. Let's go back to the 23rd position. There's 19th position. It's car 23, and of course we talked to John earlier in the show, and here's the guy that has been around since 1984, the inception with the old sports Renaults, and he said, hey, I'm making money off this deal.
Yeah, I mean, he does. He runs some rides. They do that on the West Coast too. A lot of very popular series.
John Bowden comes out of Lawrence, Kansas. Seemingly has been around forever and has seen it all in this series, and says he's happy where he is. He's going to stay right there. Once again, the battle for third position. That's B.J. Zacharias from Cincinnati, Ohio in third. He just did get around Capaldi in the 68 car, the black and yellow car. And that's the closest battle right now on the racetrack. There is second on up there. Oh, we've got a crash. Man. Car number 30, one of the cars involved. That is Mark Broyles out of Lombard, Illinois. The 75 car, we've called his name a couple times earlier, Jim Lewis. Prairie Village, Kansas, and those two guys got together, did some damage, and we'll likely see a localized yellow. That is what outside turn inside, actually, as they leave turn 1 and head down that straightaway toward the keyhole.
Right, they might be okay then.
Oh, another car spinning. As we go back and take a look at what happened to those two cars, there's the 75 car of Lewis. Oh, the other car's already parked down there. He was sitting still, and Lewis slams the wall backwards. Now let's go back and show you what just happened as we saw a car sliding. The pace car is being called out on the racetrack.
Yeah, there has to be something broken there. There's probably some oil on the track in that area. That's why those guys are getting off. It's been 3 separate incidents. No one got together, really.
Well, now we're being told that the full course yellow will bring out the pace car with 14 laps complete. 14 of 22 laps. You see the yellow there at the flag stand along the front straightaway. And so that will bunch them up. And, you know, you take a look at Mumm, right, and you take a look at Zacharias. This is a real advantage for those guys.
Absolutely. And you're going to see what Stillwell's really got now, aren't you? Because he had that huge lead. So these guys got a chance to now bunch up and see what he's got.
Well, you saw Lewis there. He climbed out of the race car, looked at the damage, surveyed the damage to the back, climbs out, pulls the helmet off. He's okay. He's got to take that car back home and put it back together. So he'll tow it back to Prairie Village, Kansas, and get it ready for the next outing. As you take a look at the top runners now, top 10, 15 of 22 laps in the book.
Speed Vision travels the world in July. Beginning in Europe, live qualifying and race action from the Grand Prix of Britain and the Grand Prix of Germany as Formula One enters the second half of the season. Over in the U.S., from Loudon, live NASCAR qualifying. From Charlotte, live IRL qualifying. From Sears Point, World Sports Car. From Mid Ohio, live AMA Superbike. from Laguna Seca, live FIM World Superbike. And finally, from Imola, Italy and Nuremberg, Germany, FIM Grand Prix. Speed Vision in July. Catch us if you can.
Cylinder yellow about to go back to racing the next lap by, and there is the 31 car of BJ Zacharias back there in third position. Let's check in with Bob Gerald in the pit lane.
Well, an interesting thing happened here during the yellow flag, and that was there was a lap car between Robert Mumm, number 10, and the 31 of BJ Zacharias in their battle for second place. The team here with Zacharias went down to the driver or the crew of number 45 and asked them to come into the pits so that there would no longer be a lap car in between the two. That is the case now as we get set to go green. Lars Lindell is the team owner for Zacharias, and so now what do you think? You're going to have a clear shot at Robert Mumm. Can you get him?
Well, we'll see. Got 3 laps to do it.
3 laps to do it till the end. You don't have radio communication, but you are communicating by a signboard here. What are you able to communicate without the radios?
Well, we can give them times, and we can give them how many laps is left. It's pretty much the only thing. It's limited to this area. Otherwise, you know, bad part is now in the green flag, the radios are broken. That's why we're not using them. So it's like a little handicap there. We'll work without it.
Well, they're doing a pretty good job for being a little handicapped today, because that was smart thinking to get the lap car out of the way. He'll have a free shot now when the green flag flies.
But also, Craig, keep in mind some cars that are set up to go faster toward the end are counting on the hot tires. The tires have now been cool.
Right.
This could be an advantage for like Zacharias, or maybe a disadvantage depending on the tire situation.
Could be. I think these guys are going to get them back up to temperature real quick. They'll cycle through very fast, Garrett, as you know.
We talk about the signboards, the pit boards. Do drivers really pay attention to those and pick those up down the front stretch?
Yeah, you do when you need them, but right now he knows where he is.
That's indeed it, right? Just a little more horsepower. About 100 horsepower in these cars, top in about 135 miles an hour. As the battle continues, 3 laps to go in this 22-lapper, and we're still watching the progress of Zacharias there, back there in third position. This yellow closed the gap down. At one point, Warren still had a nice gap, and look at this.
Here comes Leo, right?
No, that's the pass for second. Leo on the inside, or Mumm on the inside, right. And Zacharias on the high side. Well, that's not the place to pass.
Not there.
To the
not
inside,
there. He's going to come. But look at this line he's got. See, he's going to come right down inside. Now he's got some momentum. He's got a nice little line through there.
Yeah, he could not take advantage of that momentum, though, as he tucks back in behind Mumm. That's the battle for second position.
Mr. Capaldi's back there, just waiting to see what's going to happen.
At this point, where Capaldi is in fourth, it's almost going to take a mistake. First, second, and third for him to have a shot.
Yeah, you got to see what's happening.
Look at this, 3 abreast down the straightaway into that kink. They almost get together. The slightest touch can certainly upset a chassis.
Oh yeah, look at this.
Driver spinning off.
Yeah, this is going to be good down here now.
32 is Denny Markleen in that white and red checkerboard square car.
Right.
Other drivers that have progressed from this series, the likes of Robbie Buell, Sam Schmidt, Dorsey Schrader, Trans Am champion from '89, ran in this series, as did Richie Hearn, Scott Harrington, and Craig T. Nelson.
Oh yeah,
you were stellar.
Oh, I really was, in my own country.
In your own mind. Back to the leader in the last couple of laps now of this 22-lap or 49.5-mile event. There's Warren Stillwell, a 2-time national champion, started first.
Yeah, he's got it together. He's got it together. And we were wondering, you know, with the field bunched up, we were going to see what he's got. Well, apparently he's got something.
So right now, even though that gap is only about 8 or 10 car lengths, it looks like a comfortable gap. As they head down that straightaway to turn 2, the keyhole. Once again, the best battle is for second. You've got 3 cars there vying for that second position.
And third, fourth, and fifth are doing a good job in there too. Like Capaldi and Tilbor and Scharf there. They're going at it.
There's Capaldi right behind Zacharias. Nose to tail down that backstretch into the little kink that turned
we
right.
Go too wide now.
Look at this.
It's going to be a pass. This is a good one here.
Pass for third.
Yeah. Very nice.
Just like you're talking about.
Yeah. Except when you do it, it's better. You know.
Capaldi goes to third. Let's see if Zacharias had something for him. Really, there are no passing zones through this section 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there's the gap from first to second. Second back to third. Now Capaldi has been about 4 car lengths between 4th and 5th.
Right, and the cars get real light again coming over that hill, so you got to be very, very careful. I think the guys get out of rhythm when there's a yellow more than anything, Gary. Now they're back in it.
Tilmore back there in the 5th spot. Sharp is 6th. Marklin is now 7th. Donovan is 8th. Strickler 9th. Beck is 10th. And Funk is 11th. I think we're looking for the white flag, Craig, this time by. And there it is. 1 lap to go. And right now it is Stillwell's race to win or lose. Only a mistake at this point or something mechanically wrong with the car could cost him victory.
Yeah, well, he looks like he's got the car hooked up there. Whatever it was in those first 2 races in St. Pete, he's got it fixed.
Well, he crashed the first race, got it repaired, went back the next day, had a mechanical breakdown.
Oh, look at 3rd and 4th.
Look at the battle for 3rd and 4th. Yeah. Once again, that high line, but watch Zacharias come off low.
Yep. Not so much that time, did he? I don't think he had it.
Let's see if he has the momentum to make a run down this back straightaway. Notice the blocking. Capaldi moves off to the right to block that inside groove.
Well, it wasn't really blocking.
Real wide.
It wasn't really blocking. I just don't think he saw him. You know,
that's not blocking?
No, come on. What the heck? I got the right to my line. This is the last lap.
Oh, my car spins. Capaldi, who leads the points on the last lap, battling for 3rd position. Spins off. He continues on. He'll regain a spot at the back of the pack.
Boy, his wife's going to be mad.
That's a heartbreaker. So Stillwell will, there's the wife right there. Capaldi's wife.
Are you all right? Did you spin?
So obviously she is able to talk to him. Want to know if he's all right?
Yeah, well.
She could not see what we were seeing. In fact, it was a harmless spin. No damage to the race car. He's okay.
He's telling her he loves her.
And she's saying Happy Father's Day. Through the carousel.
That's going to be some
into
dinner
turn
tonight
13.
between the 2 of them, I'll tell you.
There is your checkered flag, and Stillwell takes the victory.
Good victory for him.
Mum goes 2nd. Zacharias takes 3rd.
Attaboy, Robert.
Tilmore.
Good drive, you guys. That was great.
And Sharp will finish in the top 5. Marklin 6th. Donovan 7th. Strickler 8th. Beck 9th. And Funk 10th. Now here is your spin. Let's take a look again as you look at your leader, and we should say your winner. Let's take a look at that battle for 3rd position and see exactly what happens.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay. He's coming up on the inside. Let's see what happens here, Leo, because underbraking. That's all it was. He had the tap, and it just got out from under him.
Again, going into the corner too hot.
Yeah. He probably got over on the pedal and hit the brakes a little hot. And, he could have had some rear lock there too. That's a shame.
So Capaldi was the winner of the first race then in St. Petersburg, and Mum won the 2nd one. And now Warren Stillwell has won the 3rd outing, and they'll move on to Minneapolis for their next outing as we take a look at the top runner. Stillwell takes the victory over Mum, Zacharias, and there's your top 10 from Mid Ohio.
If watching the race on TV just isn't good enough anymore, and what you're really looking for is a little excitement on your weekends, then maybe it's time you discovered racing the SCCA way. The Sports Car Club of America is your ticket to the pit lane and the fast lane. If you'd like SCCA membership information, call this toll-free number, 1-800-972-6662.
See, this is where it all happened, the movie. I mean, the movie's actually out there somewhere. It all happened here. And the only way that you're actually going to see it the way they meant for you to see it is to see it on Speed Vision's Lost Drive-In.
Catch Speed Vision's Lost Drive-In every Saturday night at 11 and 3 a.m. Eastern. Here are this week's features and showtimes.
Unofficial results right now from the Spec Racer Ford event from Mid Ohio. Once again, Stillwell, the fast qualifier yesterday, led every lap to defeat Mum and Zacharias. Tilmore was 4th, and Sharp rounding out the top 5. We take a look there at the top 10, and I think we can show you the top 15, but we can tell you with the 20 points that he picks up for the win, that will help jump Warren Stillwell back up into the points battle as they head off to Minneapolis for the July 4th weekend. And I think that Bob Jarrell has made his way to victory lane.
3 races and 3 different winners, and Warren Stillwell gets it done today. And Warren, I bet this was especially satisfying after the bad luck you had at St. Petersburg.
Well, that's right. We had 0 points coming into this race, and you're just facing an uphill battle. The only thing you could do is try to win the race, each race.
It looked pretty easy, was it?
Well, I tell you, Mid Ohio is our home track, and I think it's critical to get running without somebody in your mirrors all the time. Luckily enough, we got the first few laps, and we pulled out a lead. I think that's critical here, and then I could run and build up a lead. And then the yellow flag bunches everybody back up, and I tell you, that's just a nightmare. You don't want that to happen, but it did, and we ran another few good laps, and that was it.
So that wraps it up. Our congratulations to Warren Stillwell, who wins here in the rolling hillsides of north central Ohio. So for Craig T. Nelson and Bob Gerald, I'm Gary Lee. Thanks for joining us. So long from Mid Ohio.
Fail to dampen the spirits.